Good evening, everybody. And here we go. It's a Monday evening, and as you can see, I'm sitting here at the fireplace just behind me. Got all my seasonal decorations up. I've got the old stockings here. Yeah, there we go. All the stockings, they're all in place, and we are ready to have another hour of topical chat and all the rest of it. So, hope this finds you well wherever you are. Now, I'll explain the t-shirt in a moment. I'm not being held prisoner. Just in case you were worried about that, in case you thought they finally got him, and I haven't joined Just Stop Oil either. So all will be explained in a minute or two. But anyway, hope this all finds you fine wherever you are, and thanks so much for tuning in. Actually, just because it's getting so close to Christmas, I thought as a festive treat I would stream this across onto the Facebooks and onto the YouTubes. Yes, hello YouTube, along with all the other free speech platforms as well. So who knows where this music comes from and where it goes. But anyway, listen, so I think we should be good to go with you guys now. So, of course, our regular sponsor, Quantum Hypno, and the lovely Sarah Jane Smith, who was with us last week in London, also sponsors this show as well. So shall we play for what might be the last time this year, because it's a new ad coming, Sarah's ad, play ad.
I work with the greatest, most powerful force in the universe. It can help you with anything such as mental, emotional, and physical trauma. This beautiful, healing, loving energy can be harnessed and fully integrated through the miracle of hypnosis. Why spend years trying to improve your life and effect change while this life-changing therapy takes just one session? It has such an enormous impact on people's lives. It can remove any addiction in an instant because we find the source of the problem. Your life has a purpose. My mission is to bring this knowledge and awareness to you today. There's never been a better time to reach your highest potential and be the best that you can be. So what are you waiting for? Now's the time to make your dreams a reality. Expand your mind and your heart in just one session.
Just one session. Quantum Hypno. Make sure you go over and visit Sarah's site. We have to support each other, folks. We all have to support each other, those of us who inhabit the alternative media universe. Now, I want to explain the t-shirt to you all. Hi, Leslie. I can see you over there on the YouTubes as well. Now, talking of supporting each other, and a very happy Christmas to Leslie and everyone from yours truly. The t-shirt. So anyway, I've got this really smart bit of fashion. I wonder if can I just show what it says. Just stop. But just stop what? Just stop following me? No, just stop following the narrative. Can you see that? The height of high fashion. And to get your t-shirt, if you fancy one of these or something else, go and visit these guys, please, who have been kind enough. Just Stop t-shirts. They've been kind enough to send me this. They're a little sort of startup UK business, and I think we should all support each other, don't you? So if you fancy one of these, I just thought just stop following the narrative kind of fitted in with the events of the past week or so, or indeed the last 3 years or so. So Zero the Hero says, I ceased following the narrative years ago. Exactly. Well done to you. Thanks, Leslie. As I said, go and check out their website. Give them a click. Jeff, we can just stick it back on again, the website, so you can all go to see where you can get there you go, Just Stop t-shirts. And they do have a website. So as I said, Just Stop t-shirts. Google them, go and visit them, say hello. Tell them I sent you, and support each other. Righty, okay, my friends. So it's not Just Stop Oil, by the way. Yes, it is. I'm being held hostage by Just Stop Oil. Quick, quick, get me out of here. Uh, Melanie says, love the t-shirt. Matches the color of your eyes, David. There we go. Anyway, the heart of fashion. And you can can personalize this. So whatever you want. Anyway, that's enough. Just Stop t-shirts. Support them. Okie dokie. Can I talk to you about the events of the past week or so? Because it doesn't seem like it. There's the link below, www.juststoptshirts.com. Remember, go and visit them. That's how we support each other. A week ago, uh, the hero says, just stop the love is love in the Senate. Did you see that, folks? You're distracting me, but that's okay. It's almost Christmas. I'm prepared to be distracted. Did you see what was going on in the Senate in the US? Oh my goodness, we'll have to talk to our good friend City Troll about that on Thursday night, when that young assistant to a Democrat senator certainly was providing assistance to another individual, but in a very unfortunate context. It makes me laugh. You know the way the Democrat, Jill Biden, he's here. City Troll is here. Hi. Look, the shenanigans in the Senate are absolute disgrace. All these sexual shenanigans, I should point out as well. This is, you remember back in 2018, Dr. Jill Biden, Dr. Jill Biden, Dr. Jill said, "Hi, Republican rocker. Merry Christmas to you as well." She said, "We're going to bring decency is on the ballot. Decency is on the ballot." So what have we had since then, Dr. Jill Biden, now that Joe's in the White House? What sort of decency have we had? Well, hi, Jason. Well, we have had transvestites on the lawn of the White House. We've had cocaine inside the White House. And now we have gay sex actually in the Senate chamber. Wow. Really decency. Really decent, isn't it? But that's because you'd expect that. Remember, I call them the Democrats because they're satanic, basically. Like so much else that one sees in politics. Now, remember, if you enjoy this, make sure you subscribe and follow us. Larry says, you sound like Russia. I sound like Russia? DavidVance.net, sponsored by Putin. Was that what you're trying to say to me? Is that what you're saying? So anyway, let's go back in time a whole week. So it's just 6 days ago since this day last week, I was, someone says, you're a common Christian nationalist. Right. Well, what's the problem with that? No problem with that at all, Larry. I'm very happy to be a common Christian nationalist. Many other things as well. But anyway, if you want to label me as you will. I don't care. The sticks and stones and all of that. So a week ago, anyway, or 7, we were in London. I was in London, excuse me, prepping for what was to be our big evening, our big live show, which took place in the Kensington area of London last Tuesday, when we had, of course, Andrew Bridgen on stage, when we had Carl Benjamin. And of course, Jed was there as well. Jed's going to join me in a second. But this was the event, and as promised, we did put it on. We did do it, so we can now say we've actually clocked up our first live event. So I know a lot of you folks weren't able to make it for obvious reasons. I mean, London and all of that. So Jed, do you want to jump in this one? Wait, Jed did brave coming south, and he made it all the way down to London to the event. And obviously, Jed, you had your stab vest on. I can understand that, and your Hamzat suit. But other than that, did London live down to your expectations?
Oh, absolutely, David. You can see why it's the capital city. Sorry. Got to keep family friendly.
Family friendly.
I said to you, didn't I? I said to you that I was met with two contrasts. I came out of my hotel. I turned the corner, and when I walked up the first street I walked up, well, after being in my hotel, I walked past a house with 2 Rolls Royces in the driveway, big gate at the front, and the owner on his mobile stood at the gate. I then got to the end of that street and I entered the third world. I thought I was in the capital of the United Kingdom, but I wasn't. I was in the third world
Well,
because there was crap everywhere, buildings decaying. I couldn't find the English language spoken anywhere. Some of the shop signs were in English, but only some.
yeah.
And then I met up with my son and we came to the venue.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I know some of you folks listening to this may live in London or may be familiar with London. And Jed, it's fair enough to say that. I mean, well, I've been back and forth to London over the years, less so obviously since the COVID thing came in. And you can see that all the time it's changing for the worse. And I seen Sadiq Khan on social media today celebrating International Migrants Day, telling us migrants, they've made London what it is. And yes, Sadiq Khan, Jed, I completely agree with Sadiq Khan. They've absolutely made London what it is. And that is a third world ghetto, because that's pretty much what you find, you know, even in almost everywhere. I see someone called Baldo says he moved out in 2003, would never go back. I was speaking to a person on the Tuesday, and they were saying the same thing, basically that, you know, it's, if you live in London, it's especially if you are, you know, pale and stale and even male, it's not a great gig because you're in a tiny minority. In some areas, almost, you know, you're on your own, Jed.
You are very much so, and I can understand that one of our great followers, one of our absolutely brilliant followers, she was saying how she would have come to the event, but her husband couldn't come and she didn't feel safe. And I tried to explain on the podcast on Thursday night that please come, please tell us you're coming. Next one, I'll meet you, and I'll make sure you get to your room or get to the venue safely, whatever it might be. And the reason being is it is a place where people feel unsafe.
Jed, we're going to provide an armed guard for people coming to our live events. Because actually,
the thing is, though, Dave, I just want everybody to know our live events don't need the armed guard. It's the outside of our live events.
No, we don't. In fact, Jed, it would be fair to say the evening itself worked really well. Everything went smooth. There were no problems of any sort. We had a great time. We had 2 great guests with Carl and Andrew, who even joined us in the pub afterwards. So it was all really friendly. Jed is the word I would use. What would you? How would you?
Yes, I mean, I was in the pub beforehand with my son, just having a couple of beers. We was going to use that pub to have something to eat, but at £17 for fish and chips, yeah, I'd rather go and forage out of a skip. So we went round the corner, and I did forage out of a skip. We went round the corner and had McDonald's. Yeah,
Same thing. Same thing.
Out of the skip. Yeah. We then went back to the pub, and actually, when subsequently I then found out, not only was Gora Ram there, who once you came in, then recognised you, of course, clearly not me. But there were a few other people in that pub that came to the event afterwards because I saw them in the event. But the event was absolutely brilliant. Everything was nice and calm. We all then went out to the pub afterwards, just across the road, and had some nice drinks and good chat.
Yeah, that's right. In fact, Jed, the thing is that because you've done so many of these shows with me over the years now, I thought it was.
Show.
I think it was entertaining whenever we were standing, folks, at the door at the entrance to the venue, and people were starting to come in. I was sort of wandering around. Jed was there and sort of bringing people in. Just recount the little story, Jed, about whenever somebody came in.
All right, yeah, I know what you mean. Because I was asked could I tick people off on the door as they came in. So you give me a couple of lists. Clearly we could have used an app for that, but you know, that's the future. And anyway, so I had to ask for first names or names. So the first person that walked up, I said, could I have your first name, please? And what I got was, oh, I know that voice. You're Jed.
Yeah. I can confirm this. I was standing nearby, and Jed, your voice precedes you. Melanie says here,
I will be captured by my voice.
yeah, you're gonna have to learn to do other voices to get sort of that much needed anonymity. Melanie says, Jed, you are hilarious. Well, of course, folks, I mean, Jed's been helping me do all this stuff for such a lot. It seems forever. Probably seems like a life sentence, Jed. But you think about it.
I thought I was going to get parole at some stage.
You don't. There's no way out alive. I mean, if Bolo says, show us your shirt. Look, I've showed you my shirt. I'm going to do it again. Take a look to it. Right. Look, this is my shirt. Just stop following the narrative because we don't follow the bloody narrative, Jed. We don't. We challenge the narrative. That's what this event was called. Holding the line, challenging the narrative. Holding the line as in sticking firm to your principles, but challenging back. We've done nothing but challenge back here. I'm going to talk about purity, please, Jed. You'll enjoy this when I get onto that in a minute or two. But we have. So it was a great night we had. I absolutely ready to go, Jed. The full fan club's here tonight, Jed.
Well, of course you are, David. Of course you are. I've got something up on the screen here, and I can't get it. It's gone. Right. But David, I know you probably were going to come on to this, but I just want to tell the guys and girls here, and I'm trying to operate with one screen down at the moment, guys. What you can see on screen, I can't see physically here, only on what you can see. But we do have it as a video now, guys, for you to purchase, okay, over on davidvance.net. You can go and watch that video. I'm trying my best to scroll, David, but it's not working. But you can watch it on davidvance.net, guys. You'll see the holding the line in the exclusive video section right at the top of the page. And you will have to subscribe, pay to £2.99, and then you can watch the whole, and then log back in and you can watch the whole video, just over 2 hours, I think it was, David, wasn't it?
Yeah, 2 hours entertainment for $2.99. What a bargain. And that's the way you have to do it. So as Jed says, go over to davidvance.net and then you'll see the live event, the video of the live event. And the way you have to work it is you have to sort of subscribe, and then you pay your $2.99, and then you're in and you get to see the 2 hours entertainment. I mean, I tell you what, Jed, it passed very quickly. It was a very fast 2 hours, but
it was, mate, absolutely. And you think 2 hours, how are you going to fill 2 hours? But to be honest with you, I can show it better now. I've swapped screens. So now, as you can see, you will get the whole video, and it will play. I'll just move it along a bit, but so there you go.
There we go.
You can see on stage. Yeah. This is me logged. Bear in mind, guys, I've paid my $2.99 for this. I didn't get it for free. I paid my money.
Yeah. So you have to pay as well. Everyone has to pay. So someone asked where I'm sorry. I just want to show. So Baldwin says, where are you streaming? Getter, Twitter, Odyssey, DLive, Rumble,
Facebook, YouTube, Rumble,
everywhere. And tonight, and maybe on Wednesday night. No, well, maybe on Wednesday night we might stream to YouTube or Facebook. Although on Wednesday night, Jed, by popular request, Mr. John Hamer's back on. And we're discussing moon landings on Wednesday night as a kind of seasonal treat for everyone. But back to the event. So it was great fun. Larry says Cambridge Analytica was not kind to you. I don't care. Not interested about Cambridge Analytica. They can get stuffed. And we're going to talk about Puritans in a minute. I want to talk about the Puritans here. In my fireside location here. But it was a good night.
David, I thought I could. Can I hear some background Christmas music?
Yeah, you do. Is it him? Has he arrived yet?
Could it be Santa? Could it be? Have you been a good boy all year, David?
So So yeah. So I'm reading. I'm reading. What's this crap? Show us in the doll where deep root analytics touched you. I have no idea what that's talking. I have no idea what you're talking about, Larry. Don't care. Right, I'm moving on. So that was the event. It was really successful, folks. Jen, I think everyone who went had a good time. It was good fun. So there's two things. It would be really helpful if you can just go over to davidvance.net, do what Jed said, and buy a little video, because that helps us. Because we will be putting a new event on towards the end of February. It should be in the same location as this one, details at the time. And we have pretty much our guests sorted out. I will reveal all in the very early part of January. And yeah, so we've got that. And in fact, actually,
the only concern I have, David, is because you know what I now do for a job, that I don't have any tests on that day. I need to know what that day is as early as possible.
I will reveal all after the show. I reveal all after the show. Yeah. I mean,
otherwise, I can be booking people in for tests.
Yeah. Well, it's actually, Jed, funny enough, it's going to be a replay, everybody, of what we just done. So if I have my way anyway, it'll be the last Tuesday and Wednesday in February. Sorry, the last Tuesday in February, which is, Jed, the 27th, I think.
27th. Yeah.
27th.
Oh, David, don't say that. Don't say that.
Yeah, it is. That's when it's going to be. Well, roughly, approximately. It could be the following, it could be the following week. We haven't.
The following week is even better.
Yeah.
I've
well, let's
in on the 28th for a driving test.
Right. Okay. Right. Well, that we're planning it, folks. Anyway, just to let you know that, as I said, and I try to stick to my plans, we would start doing regular live events. So if any of you folks couldn't get along to the last one, you can watch it on video, or alternatively, you might like to come to the next one. In fact, actually, we're already planning what will be our April event as well, which won't be in London, by the way. So I will talk more about these things in the time ahead. Right, okay, that's enough of that. That's enough of, that's where we are. So don't forget to go and do the links thing. Go and go over and have a look, check out the video and pick it up if you want. Now, let's talk about purity, the purity place. I thought I'd tackle this one, Jed, because someone kind of has to. Now, look, I accept a whole lot of opinions, differing opinions, all kinds of stuff. I really, I'm tolerant of all kinds of views, because I recognize I do not get everything right, and some things I don't know everything about. Far from it. So I'm really open on these issues, Jed. And I'm interested. I'm also open to accepting people who, as I put a podcast out today, saying that the purity police irritate me. These are the people who say, "Oh, we were against it from being the COVID narrative from day one. Everything, we were against it. The purity police are out to get you. Check it out, davidvance.net podcast." And Jed, and you and I have talked about this a lot, but I am increasingly irritated by the fact that there are some people out there, I won't name them, but and they seem to think that they've got the monopoly over virtue. And I'm basically saying, to hell with them, right? Because nobody has the monopoly over virtue. At that event last week, for example, Jed, point in case, we had Andrew Bridge, an MP, and Andrew did push the jabs. He did push the lockdowns. He did all of those things. And for his sins, he was injured. And I'm not going to say in what way, but Andrew has suffered the consequences, as you know, Jed, of taking the jabs. So when Andrew Bridgen talks about them now, and I hear other people saying, "Oh, he's a shill. Oh, he's controlled," I just think, now, hang on a second. You've said this, Jed, perfectly on many other occasions. If you listen to some people, everybody's controlled. I'm controlled opposition. If you listen to some people, well, as you know me well enough, Jed, nobody
I
controls
know
me.
you are. Yes, I know you are. I know you
Yeah,
control.
exactly. Oh, yeah, you know what? Just how controlled I am, and so I hear these people, and they sit in their little sort of elevated salons, and they patronize the vast majority of good people, and I think that they're in they do not help anything at all. All they do is divide. What do you think, Jed?
Well, you know my views. I've spoke on purity a few times, and
Yeah,
you know, we on the right go for purity. It's almost like a religion on the right, that you have to be right on every single item, or you're cast aside, you're cast out. Yeah, and I've said, you know, all right, Tories aren't brilliant, Labour aren't brilliant. Neither is UK reform, but it's better than those two. Yeah. There are people like Andrew Bridgen who push certain things and now regrets what he's done. There are people that listen to us that have taken the jabs and wish they hadn't, but they're still welcome in the family. And that's what we need to do. We need those core values of free speech, honesty, and decency. Everything else is just a periphery. Everything else is just an attack. And you'll get one group of people that say, well, we think this should be one of the core elements. And another group of people said this should be the core element. But the bottom line is we can't do that because we end up in that purity spiral on the right, where the left don't do this. The left just coalesce against some
but
core element, and that's it.
Yeah, but
people make mistakes, David. Andrew Bridgen said he made a mistake. Now he's paid the price, and now he's campaigning, and he's put his political career on the line for what he now believes to be the truth.
But some people, certain individuals on our side, basically see him as a complete shill, think that everything, and it's not just Andrew, they pretty much everyone falls into this camp in terms of that, you know, there's no one as enlightened as them. No one as enlightened as them. And they see through everything, except they didn't. Because if I go back to what certain people were saying back in spring of 2020, they're not in a position to lecture anybody, Jed, because they've changed their minds since then, as have I. I mean, I vividly remember the early stages of the whole COVID thing, Jed. And I remember in the 2nd of April 2020 saying that I thought the lockdown had gone on too long. But I still wasn't sure about this deadly virus, and so I wasn't, you know, I was far from certain about these things. And I remember, Jed, because you engineered the programs, I used to do live streams with my friend Rebecca Butler, who went on to become an extreme vaccinator. But I used to say to her, look, Rebecca, it's not that I've got a problem with vaccines. It's just this vaccine.
Yeah.
I remember I used to say that. I mean, so, and then of course I moved over then the next year to the position of saying, yeah, I've got a problem with all the vaccines. But, you know, but yet that actually is my point. You're allowed to change. You are allowed to, everyone is allowed to change. And also, by the way, here's another thing, Jed. People who claim to be Christian, right? At the core of Christianity is the right to redeem yourself, have redemption, to repent of whatever it is you've done wrong, because we're all mortal. We all do things that are wrong, right? And some of these purity police would basically not, you know, they don't allow that, and yet they posture as you know, very, very deep Christians. So they just sicken me. I mean, that's just me. But I just needed to say that, Jed, because I see it in certain areas happening, and you know, like Zero the Hero says, I respect moderates, not the far left. Yeah, listen, look, I respect a wide range of opinion. At the event last week in London, there was different opinions in that audience. I mean, not everyone was exactly on the same page. And, you know, that's okay.
You can't have it, David. Not everybody can be right all the time. I know we can be. I'm joking. But no, not everybody can be right. But what we have to do is forgive. The thing is, right, if we wish to waken people up, we have to waken them up from believing what they believed before to believe something different. And we have to do that. As I've always said, and as Andrew Bridges said last Tuesday, he said we have to wake those people up gently, because you can't tell them the whole truth, okay? You just simply can't tell them the whole truth because they won't believe you, because they've staked everything on what they've been told.
Yeah.
Okay? But we do wake people, we do wake people up, and we wake them up gently, and then we bring them along with us. We don't go after them because they had a different view to start with. We just pick them up, we educate them, and we bring them along with us. And we've got to stop that Puritan battle that we seem to have on the right that nobody else seems to have. But these people, your Piers Morgans, he went from being jab happy to everybody should be locked up, blah, 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 to going, oh, well, hang on. No, maybe the jabs weren't the right thing. Maybe lockdowns weren't the right thing. And now he's sat there with oxygen mask, apparently, saying, no, everybody should be jabbed again.
Yeah. And Piers Morgan is a good example of an establishment shill. He absolutely is a good example, because he wanted us all locked up. And then when he went through that phase, he then decided it was tactical. And he sort of said, well, when the facts change, I remember, Jed, you and I talked about this.
Yeah.
He said, when the facts changed, I changed my mind. But
the facts didn't change. The facts were always the same. He's just we didn't want to see him.
Yeah. And now he's moved back because he's got COVID for the 12th time or whatever, because he's had so many jabs, and he's got the long COVID for 7 months, long COVID. And now he's back on us as being conspiracy theorist numpties. He is a good example of someone who I believe is completely controlled. But there's other folks, and I think they have been on a journey like you and I have, Jed, as well. And you don't know where that journey is going to end, But I'll tell you what, you're going to find it a better journey if you are a little accommodating of people who are less than the perfection that you seek. So
that's right, and it's the perfection that's the problem. If you're seeking perfection, you'll find fault in everything that everybody does.
Well, they reckon, Jed, if you look at the numbers, when it comes to the COVID in particular, and those of us who didn't want to go down that route and who remained purebloods, the numbers. Yeah, it depends where you go to look, but in the UK, maybe 20% of the population didn't take it for different reasons. A lot of different reasons, or maybe it was 15%, something like that. Anyway, the vast majority did. Now, the thing is, Leslie says, us pod beaners are almost 100% perfect. Very true, Leslie. But if these purity police have their way, that's not good enough, you being in the 20%. You need to be in the 1% of the 20%, because you never bought into anything that was being sold by, I don't know, people like Robert Malone or Steve Kirsch or any of the rest of them. And so all of a sudden, don't they see that they're creating, Jeb, such an exclusive little elitist club that they're going to have no impact on anything. They're not waking anybody up. And in fact, actually, I would argue they might be shutting people down because they're excluding them. And I think that's wrong. So
there's more splinters. There's more splinters in the right at the moment than there is in Piers Morgan's arse.
Well, so to speak, yeah. And I think that is very unfortunate, and that is not it's all very well being black-pilled, and I get all the black-pilled stuff, folks. Get it all, just like the red pill. I know it all, but I just think it'd be a damn sight better if people could set aside some ideological differences and focus on basically, taking this thing, staying as much together as we can, rather than being divisive about it. So anyway, Puritan police out there, I see you. I see what you're doing. And I don't have much time for you. Someone says Gemma O'Doherty is the Irish Braveheart. Yes, my good friend Gemma, suffering egregiously at the moment. I've been speaking to Gemma in the past couple of days, so I'm aware of certain things there. Gemma actually may have to leave Ireland. Such is the legal lawfare being used against her. I would, if you're on Getter, go and check out Gemma O'Doherty, and if you're on Twitter, go and check out, I think it's the Irish Lighthouse, which is a publication that she edits. And Gemma's having a very, very tough time. But free speech is and in fact, actually, Jed, free speech. Yeah, Nev says a good comment. I'd say at this stage, if people can't see that Andrew has shown contrition, they've got a plank in the eye. Well said, Nev. That's exactly it. That's exactly it. That guy has been on a journey. And hi, Ibersteller. And if people are not prepared to say, oh, no, he's still a shill, he's still doing this, nah, listen, see you guys in your little elitist 1%er club, off you toodle. I have no interest in you or doing anything with you either. And you know who you are. So anyway, that's that, Jed said. That's that little got out of my system. So, hey, listen, I want to move on the show a little bit to there's a quality t-shirts in the background there, Jed, I see.
I can pick them up if you like. There you go, David.
Oh, just stop Santa. Oh no, well, I suppose if it means stop Santa and leave presents, just stop being woke. Just stop being a Scrooge. There you go. You can get your own message. Give them a shout. Small startup business. They need a hand. Give them a hand. There you go. You see, I'm not sure about the model with the green and.
No, when I came across, I thought, And if you scroll down at the bottom, it says the vegan friendly.
Yeah, we devour.
Sorry, vegan approved.
We eat meat raw here, so please get rid of. No one wants to see women with green and blue hair. At our event last Tuesday night, there was no. I didn't see it. I didn't spot.
No, I didn't. No,
I thought there were women in the audience. So, right, the Conservatives. Let's have a bit of a laugh and talk about the Conservative Party, because it continues to rumble on in terms of, oh, look at today. I see Esther McVeigh, Jed. Esther McVeigh had a strong heading article in the Mail talking about the fact that, she's going to get tough on all this gender stuff. She's cracking down. And last week I saw the media were saying, oh, Rishi, he's getting serious. He's getting tough. He's getting really tough on the legal migration. Or no, the boats, because he can't really do much about the legal migration. And you listen to them talk, you listen to the Conservatives talk, and I honestly think they're at the point where they're just talking to themselves, and that the country, and I hate to say this because, Jed, like yourself, I've got no time for Labour or World Economic Forum stooges, but they're going to get in. They're absolutely getting in, I think. And the thing is that the Tories are bait. They're a beaten docket. They don't see it. They can't see what's coming.
I don't think we care, to be honest, David.
Maybe.
The lifers, the Tory lifers, so to speak, if they lose their seats, you got to think, the big hitters, your Rees-Moggs and those sort of, they're not likely to lose their seats. Yeah. I don't think so. I think the
Rees-Mogg might down in Devon in Somerset, because there's a strong Lib Dem challenge down there. Right. So he's quite a slim majority. But
I was just trying to think of some big hitter names. But the point is, I don't think some of the top elements, the core element, will lose anything. But that I still think, and there is talk of them, what are they, 380 seats at the moment?
Yeah.
Probably being just in double figures at the next election. But the core, the people who can change what the Tory party are doing, will be those 80 that are left, if you see what I mean, in their safe seats, in their seats that they're never going to lose. It's the other 300 that will be cast aside. It's the other 300 that will be out of a job. It's the other 300 that should be forcing the 80 to change their ways. But they won't. They are sunk. They are done. And all I can say to you, and I've said it so many times, don't waste your ballot. Don't not vote. Go and vote. Vote for the Reform UK. Because then when Tories get 30% of the vote and not 40, because 10% went to Reform, it might wake them up to become Conservative.
At this point, I'll be surprised if the Tories get more than 23% of the vote.
If Reform take 10, they'll get 13% of the vote.
Well, the thing is that Reform, now, you and I differ on Reform insofar as I am very unsure about Reform. But leaving aside my prejudices, Jed, anybody reading the opinion polls will see that reform are rising all the time, more or less, in the opinion polls. And that's before we get into 2024. And the one thing that, Jed, I'll be interested in your view on, and again, I suspect we'll differ in this, but Nigel Farage is kind of the X factor in this. He's just come out of the jungle, as you know, he came third. He's got massive mega publicity in the back of it, most of it good. And regardless of what your views on Farage are, and I've got critical views of Farage, Jed, if he was to basically front up reform going into the 2024 general election, I think they might do very well. What's your? Do you think he could do that, or what do you think?
I do. I think he needs to take the helm again, so to speak.
Yeah.
And lead, because as it was said, I think Carl said it on Tuesday. What did Richard Tice do while Farage was in the jungle? Instead of going up and down the country promoting Farage and reform, he stuck him on the side of a bus. That was it.
That's it.
Wasted opportunity for 3 weeks, for 22, 23 days. Wasted opportunity.
Yeah,
that's the problem. And I don't get me wrong, David. I have serious issues with reform. I'm not saying reform should get in. What I'm saying is put your vote there to show the Tories they are no longer conservative.
Well, I see that somebody, Ibersteller, saying reclaim or genuine, not sold in reform. Well, actually, Iber, just on this one, obviously, you know, I'm friendly with Lawrence Fox and the people in Reclaim. I basically think when it comes to any of these parties, they all represent at least a choice, which is, I think, is your point, Jed. You're sort of saying, you know, having a choice is a good thing. I think it was Carl Benjamin that did he not say it also last week that it would be quite good if all these parties could come together. You know,
there you go, coalesce against some core values.
Yeah. Yes.
They're so splintered on the right.
Yeah. And in certain constituencies where they might have a particularly strong candidate, that's the one that they do. Deplorable Deb says Tice cannot be the front man. Well, he certainly can't front anything. I would support Deb because, number one, he blocked me on Twitter a long time ago, and I genuinely believe he is a Judas goat. In his case. But look, there's other people like Ben Habib.
David, we're back down that route again. Controlled opposition, Judas goats, aren't we? We're back down that route. I mean, look, I'm just down from Brookie.
But hang on. Yeah, but he is. And if you and for what it's worth, Farage worries me because okay, Jill, we'll have this one out. Back in November, yeah, you said that. Well, it's a season of goodwill, but all the same, back in November of 2019, Nigel Farage stood down the Brexit Party, which delivered Boris Johnson's massive walloping majority. And that left a lot of bad feeling out there. And that's not the first time that Farage has done stuff like that. And I don't really understand. Boldo says here, if they never unite, they'll just split votes for you. Yeah, look, I agree. You will both agree with that.
That's, I think, the point we're trying to make with the right, because the right is it's full of Puritans. We have a splintered right. And I won't call it a coalescence. The right is just splintered, where the left are together because they have 4 or 5 core values that they all gather around. So all the left-wing
communism,
and socialism.
Yeah.
Well, the right, we have Reclaim, Reform, we have the Tories, we have some
Heritage.
That other guy for democracy that was that asked a question at the live show.
Yeah.
Something for democracy. I can't remember. So again, he is conservative. He is right wing, but there is so many splinters in the right that we have to come together as one element, and therefore we could then become a force.
Yeah, but you know the really strange thing, and anyone listening in this one, tell me what you think, Jed. If we go around different European countries, like for example Holland, we see Geert Wilders' party top the poll. We see the AfD doing extremely well in Germany, so much, in fact, they're trying to ban them. We see in Austria, we see in many German countries, even in Italy with Giorgia Meloni, we see right-wingist populist, let's call them populist parties, doing quite well. But when it comes to the UK, they never do well, Jed. And that's because we have a first past the post system. And the first past the post system discriminates against everybody other than the two major parties. Republican rocker, listen, here's the problem. You've got it in the States as well. In the States, you've got a two-party, a uni-party. Yeah. And we've got a uni-party, Jed. We've talked about it enough. And basically anything, I'll support anything but the uni-party. The uni-party is destroying us, absolutely destroying us. And our electoral system in the UK, and not in the US as well, is designed to keep the uni-party in perpetual power. And the only time, Jed, if you think about it, that the uni-party lost, they lost in 2014, the European elections, when UKIP topped the poll. Yes, Leslie, you beat me to it. UKIP topped the poll. And I still have time for some of the guys in UKIP that were kind enough to invite me to address their annual conference. And in 2016, Jed, when we got the Brexit referendum in the back of it. So when people get to vote outside of the two-party system, outside of the way it's been, we do well. It's just that they don't allow us to do that for most of our. Would you like to see proportional representation, Jed, for our general?
I'm in two minds. About proportional representation. One half of me says yes, let's go for it, because at least then my vote really does count, and I might get somebody I want. Yeah, I might not get lots of them, but the other side of me then says, well, proportional representation, we're going to put ourselves in perpetual hung parliaments or coalition parliaments. And therefore everything will be watered down. So the bits you want will be watered down by the left, that, if you see what I mean, that don't want the opposite of those bits.
But it is anyway. Everything. But hang on, no conservative voted for open borders. No conservative voted for vast increases in tax and all the rest of it. So I'm like you, Jed. I used to think PR was bad. I thought it was a bad system. Now I'm convinced it's the only way we have of breaking out of the straitjacket that we're all in. Because I think
I don't disagree. Don't get me wrong. There are good and bad about proportional representation. But I am more for it now than perhaps I would have been.
Yeah. Me
for
too.
That simple fact that we have to break out of the two-party system. The US has to break out of the two-party system. Wherever first past the post, so to speak, stands, you don't have a real democracy.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the truth of the matter. But then the other thing about the Tories that amuses me is, did you see the shenanigans concerning Baroness Mone? It's too good an opportunity not to do a podcast about her, but Baroness Mone, who was elevated to the Lords, did you see, Jed? She was involved, let's put it like this, I'll use my words carefully, in a situation where it is likely that she and her kids will benefit to the tune of about 60 million on the basis of PPE contracts, which were awarded during the whole 2020 situation. And she's got a lot of, it looks like she's been hung out to dry in this one. And then today I saw Jed, it made me laugh. She came back and she said, well, Rishi Sunak's not in a position to talk. So the Baroness is unhappy.
Well, let's go for it. Let's get the daggers out, because you're right. This is the fall of the Conservative Party.
Yeah, that's it.
In a way they have never, ever experienced. And all this helps. This helps to destroy the cabal of conservatives, of Conservative Party, or so-called Conservative Party. It destroys that.
Yeah.
And from that, fresh embers can grow. or fresh acorns can grow. You know, we have to burn it all down. You know the thing, you burn the forest down so the forest will better back next time.
Jed, I would burn it down and salt the earth. I would salt the earth because this Conservative Party, it needs to die and something else needs to come up. Maybe
and
it
this
is.
sort of thing is going to do that. This
Well,
infighting and bitching.
in fact, yeah, yes, absolutely right. Because if there's one thing I've learned over all my years in politics is if you want to turn the electorate off, Jed, you see infighting or public infighting. It's devastating. It really is. People like to think that politicians in a given party are all united. Now, believe you me, they certainly are not. But some of them are very good at hiding that, so that you think they all are united. But this is public and is stabbing each other, and it's another nail in their coffin.
No, it's great. It's great. Because it brings people down. It shows people, you know, that they are not the ones on the pedestal. They're not the ones that are doing everything right. You know, she's gonna bring other people down with her. She's gonna go down, and that's fine because then that just shows what a cabal it all is. Yeah, it just shows that they're all in it together, actually, and all they're doing is stabbing each other in the back, hoping that they'll get the knife in first, and therefore they will go, oh no, I'm squeaky clean.
Well, if you think it's bad now, and I think it is, just wait until the day after the next general election, because on that day, the Tories are out of government. All those red wall, MPs will be gone pretty much, I think. And
I don't think we have to wait that long. I think we have to wait until the election is announced.
Yeah, well,
then they'll be fighting that who's going to be the leader. Because they'll want the party to fail, of which we all do, and they will then want to pick up the pieces after Richie's gone. Richie's already bought his new house wherever it is. He's already planning he's leaving.
I know.
Number 10 at the end of the count.
Yeah. You see, they hate us. The thing to understand, folks, is wherever you are in the world, I think, pretty much, Jed, in the Western world anyway, the political elite despise ordinary people like us. And that's why people like me are kept off mainstream media and even alternative media. And that's why we have to use platforms like this. Because if you just say it out openly, the Tories hate you, Labour hate you, the Lib Dems hate you. They really do. They despise you. But they'll say what they want to take your vote, of course, and you'll get, believe it, Jed, I mean, I would bet, I'll bet you this, before we get to whenever the election is going to be next year, April, May, or indeed September, you're going to hear the Tories telling you, cut taxes, because they do this all the time. They always do this. They play it up like a theatrical dame, and I hope that the voters will swallow it. But I think after 13 years for them, it's too late. It's just too late.
It is. The ship has gone. The Titanic sank. The band has finished playing. The lifeboats are gone. And they're on the bow. And they're just looking at the water rushing up towards them.
Yeah, that's a good analogy, actually, Jed. That's pretty much where they are.
Of the Olympic.
The Olympic. That's right, the Olympic. As we know, it wasn't the Titanic that went down; it was the sister ship, the Olympic. But it's the same analogy, Jed. The ship is just preparing to break in two and go down, and it's going to happen over the next less than 12 months. So hopefully, we will be able to observe all of this, and we're pointing out, well ahead of the game, that it's richly deserved, and I want to see as many of them as possible thrown out. I'm happy about that. But of course, Jed, like you, so I'm far from, when I look at the absolute state of Labour, and when you look at like, for example, the Labour Party praising Mark Drakeford, the Labour leader in Wales, who's been absolutely awful in Wales. And Keir Starmer says he was a wonderful example. And we've seen two more Labour councils prepare for bankruptcy. It's going to be more of the same with Labour. Financial disaster basically lies in store, more open borders. But
because we don't have politicians, what we have are activists, particularly on the left, we have activists who think they know it all, but actually know nothing. I tell you now, there's not going to be a Tory council that goes bankrupt. Yeah. In the manner that all the Labour ones are going bankrupt because socialism is all about spending other people's money.
Oh yeah.
So that's what socialist councils do. They go, just like my council. My council put up my council tax by, I think it was 1,035%. Because what we wanted to do was raise £1 million to
Yeah.
buy some land called Frontier Land. Yeah, where the old Frontier Land used to be in Morecambe. And they wanted £1 million to buy that. The year before, Lancaster Council bought that land for £4 million. Morecambe Parish Council was trying to raise it. Well, once is raising, because it's allowed to, £1 million to buy the land. From who? From us. We already own it. We paid £4 million for it. We own it. So what they're going to do with this £1 million? I tell you what they're doing. The 99% of it is going on wages.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. This is the problem, generally speaking, with the public sector in general. I mean, for example, this past weekend and Friday and Saturday of last week were really busy social nights. You know, Christmas parties, everybody out. So I actually was out last Friday night, and lo and behold, last Friday and Saturday we had a complete public transport strike in Northern Ireland. No trains ran, no buses ran at peak Christmas time. And this was because naturally the trade unions are saying, yeah, we need to give us more money. And this is the way they operate. And ultimately, you know, if the only way they can get more money, these people, is for people like you and me, Jed, to be paying more taxes. And I totally resent the taxes I pay at the moment. So the left doesn't get economics, because if they did, they wouldn't be on the left. And the right doesn't get morality, because if they did, they wouldn't do some of the stuffs like Baroness Moan and the rest of them have been up to. So, you know, from whichever side you look at, I'm sort of thinking, yeah, none of you get my allegiance. Absolutely no chance at all. You know, and basically I also think, Jed, they're like Keir Starmer is the ultimate World Economic Forum stooge. And it's going to be bad times when he gets in. But Rishi Sunak's another one. Boris Johnson was one. Theresa May. I mean, they're all the same to me. You know, none of them are any different.
No, and I think even the ones that we might think are different, you know, like Malone, who we mentioned earlier, they seem to get in and then seem to change what they said they were going to do. And I think part of that is the deep state behind them. Because behind every government in every country, there is a deep state that's always there. For us, it's the civil service.
Yeah,
or
that's right.
The US,
Yeah.
you know, it's the three letter agencies and the deep state over there. And it's those that control the politicians. It's the lobbyists that control the politicians. Yeah. And it's the same lobbyists, it's the same deep state. All we're doing is moving the pawns at the front of the chessboard. But in the background, it's still the kings, queens, and knights and rooks that are ruling the roost.
Yeah. Can I just say, I just want to say to Larry here, who I see over posting garbage over on YouTube. Larry, if you want to call me a boomer nationalist that regurgitates right stream media narrative, what you effortlessly demonstrate is your own lamentable understanding of me and anything I've ever said or done. I don't regurgitate anything, pal, but I've heard enough of you. So I think, Larry, what we'll do with you is, because you are wasting my time, I'll put you into a little bit of isolation so you can think about things and behave yourself if you want to be back in any of my streams. Right, Jen? Sorry, I just wanted to...
No, it's okay, man. I was watching them go up and...
There's lots of good people.
I'm just going to sneeze, Dave. I'm just going to prompt you.
Yeah, there's a lot of good people over in YouTube who comment, and it's a pity that there's that there's then people who appear to be mentally unwell. But anyway, folks, listen, excuse me. I think we've come to our end of our time.
David, I think we have, but can I interrupt you as I normally do at this sort of stage? I haven't got anything to play. Well, I'll find something as you finish off, but I just want to say, guys, please, if you want to watch what happened on Tuesday, if you go over to davidvance.net, select register here on the homepage, okay? Or you can select the homepage and the video itself, and then you'll have to subscribe. But if you go register, it will bring you here. And when you've got here, I'm sorry, I'm trying to work on two screens here. Once you've got here, subscribe, and it will take you over to this page. That's what you're paying your money for. When you hit subscribe, it will fill out your details, okay, and then it will process you through to payment. Okay, it's $2.99, and once you're in there, you go to the home screen. I'm sorry, I'm doing this very quickly, David. I'm full of a cold at the moment, I think. I'll go back to the
probably long COVID.
one. Yeah, and then you will be able to see underneath where it says here. So you should be able to then go log in. Now, I can't show you logging in because you'll see all my emails and stuff, all my email addresses. But you just log in and then you'll be able to watch the video, guys.
Listen,
so it is there. Please go and watch it. Please help support us.
Yeah. We want to do more of these, folks. The one last Tuesday was the experiment. It was the first one, the trial one. It worked out pretty well. Loads of people who follow us obviously couldn't get to London. This is a way to get to see all that happens, including my suggestion to Andrew Bridgen, what should happen to a schoolgirl who identified as a cat. But you'll never know unless you go.
No, you'll never know what the answer to that. I nearly said what the answer was. You have to watch the video.
But it's very, I have to say, going back to the original purity thing we were talking through, Jed, like Andrew Bridgen and Carl are both very, very awakened people. And it's very obvious when you listen to what they say as we chat during the evening that these guys, they get it. They just get it. So that's us all sitting on the stage there. You can see I was channeling my inner Steve Jobs. I had a black turtleneck.
You were sporting quite a sporty jacket and
I was. You can just about you can just about see it there. So listen, folks. I think what we'll do is we'll bring things to as Jed sort of winds things up here. I want to bring things to an end, other than to say that we're back on Wednesday night, 8 o'clock live with Mr. John Hamer. There's the Just Stop t-shirt people, Just Stop t-shirts. We're back with John. We're going to discuss the essential question, the Apollo program. Did we go to the moon? Is everything that you were told, is that what actually happened? How did they phone the White House from the moon? Have they good reception? Yeah, here's a picture I stuck off. Oh, that's definitely not a Stanley Kubrick background. Oh no, that's totally super duper real. But the shadow and all of that there. So anyway, John's on with us on Wednesday night. So I hope you'll come back then and join us live for what probably going to be the final show, live show like this anyway, before Christmas. We will be live on the podcast channel on Thursday night, and then that's it. So that's this week's agenda. But again, a big thank you to everyone who did come along last Tuesday night in London. It was lovely to meet you folks who came up and said hello to myself and Jed. Really appreciate your time and your support then. It means so much. And it's great to meet people in the, sort of flesh to flesh. We're doing this obviously all over the joys of the inter-Zooms and all of that, but it's nice to be able to actually, for human beings, to get together. Now, I can see that Jed has something in the background. So what I will do is I'll say to you no more than join me Wednesday night, 8 o'clock, Apollo program, moon landings, all of it to be discussed, and hand it over to you, Jed.
Not a problem, David. Thank you. As always, guys, when I'm on the show, I try and leave you with a little bit of a funny, and I just want to show you how stupid some people can be. Okay, here we go. Good night, everybody. Take care.